Well, it looked like I had a little technical difficulties, so sorry about that. But what I got today is it gonna be some kind of special day, as you can see by the title. And you see by the title, I wanted to play the video, but seems like stuff is not working like it's supposed to. Right? Seems like stuff is not working like it's supposed to. Let's go and I'm just going to have to let y'all listen to the audio, and we're going to discuss it. And you'll be surprised what I found out about some of these cities that they have stolen, buried, and everything else. From a respect to Shawanda Williams, respect to everybody else that is watching. And like I said, we are in the midst of a whole lot of different kind of chaos, right? How long are we gonna lie to our kids? How long are they gonna lie to us? And that it is what it is. But tell you the truth, it's what we do with that scenario. Is what we do with it. How do we acknowledge it? How do we combat it and take things and teach our children ourselves our own history? What went on in our own state, our own country? We all are not our ancestors. All our ancestors not from Africa. Yes, we did. Some of us did buy and sell our our stuff, but it is what it is. But I'm gonna let y'all listen to this. Listen this. But I wish I could show y'all the video, but some of y'all might be shocked at what y'all gonna hear, right? Y'all gonna be shocked, okay? Respect Brian Robinson. Y'all gonna be shocked with what y'all hear. I wish I could play the audio. I wish I could play the video so y'all could see it for yourself. But I'm gonna let y'all listen to the. I'm gonna let y'all listen to the audio, right? I'm gonna let y'all listen to the audio. Okay.
Discrimination and violence in the days when racism was at its peak. Such communities existed in the United States during segregation, and at least 200 of them were established by 1888. But as time passed, many of these communities disappeared from the map, completely erased from history. You may ask, how is that even possible? Why were these towns deliberately hidden and erased? And what can we learn from this dark and troubling part of American history? In this video, we will reveal some of the major black towns now hidden underwater or transformed into cities. And their black inhabitants displaced. The first is the Seneca Village in New York City. Seneca Village, a once thriving African American community, was established in 1825 on the outskirts of New York City at a time when African American residents were facing legal segregation and discrimination throughout the country. At its height, the village covered an area from 82nd Street to 89th Street on Manhattan's Upper West Side, with approximately 300 Black residents living within its borders. The people of Seneca Village had a deep sense of community and worked hard to build a prosperous and thriving neighborhood. Many Black residents were property owners, with a rate 5 times higher than the city's average. Seneca Village had 3 churches, a school, and various small businesses, such as a grocery store, a shoemaker, and a blacksmith. However, the residents of Seneca Village faced many challenges, including discriminatory laws that restricted their freedoms and opportunities. As the city of New York began to expand and urbanization took hold, many wealthy New Yorkers sought to improve the area by creating a large park, which is now known as Central Park. In 1855, the New York State Legislature passed the act to lay out a public park in the city of New York, which authorized using the eminent domain to seize land to create Central Park. The residents of Seneca Village were accused of being a public nuisance and were forced to leave their homes to make way for the park's construction. The community was disbanded by 1857, and the residents were forced to relocate somewhere else, mainly to Manhattan's Lower East Side. The erasure of Seneca Village is one of many examples of systemic racism and forced displacement of Black communities throughout American history. The people of Seneca Village had built a thriving and prosperous community against all odds, only to be pushed aside by the government and the wealthy elite. The loss of Seneca Village was a traumatic event for the African American residents who were forced to leave their homes and businesses behind. Today, the only remnant of Seneca Village is a commemorative plaque dedicated in 2001 to the Lost Village. The story of Seneca Village serves as a reminder of the many vibrant Black communities lost due to discrimination and systemic racism in the United States. But while this seems traumatic, many African Americans in Alabama faced a more devastating incident. Before we get into that, we'd like to introduce a new segment called Black Business Spotlight. Part of our mission is to uplift and empower the culture. And a great way to do that is by supporting Black-owned businesses. So today, we'd like to share with you a company that focuses on empowering the community through reading and education. DTR 360 Books.
Hey, what's going on, family? Assalamu alaikum. Shalom, shalom. Hotep, Islam, Alafia. So listen, DTR 360 Books is the fastest online bookstore right now. All right, we have everything from comic books. All right, we have everything from history books. That's right, we got this bad boy. We have everything like health books, and we got children books, religious books. Listen, anything you name it, we got. All right, definitely listen. Click the link in the bio, DTR360books.com, to find out what's all the hype about. Listen, a reading people is a rising people. So let's rise, family. You can't go anywhere without proper education. Peace.
It's so important that we buy Black and keep the dollar in our community. If you'd like to support DTR 360 Books, click the first link in the description. Now let's get back to the video.
Choose the next level. Play now.
Imagine a second income renting out other people's properties. This is not a drill. There is a way to get started with your own rental arbitrage business today. A simple guide to renting properties without owning a thing with the B&B formula. I was able to actually start planning my retirement with the additional income I was making with my B&B business. All I did was pay for shipping and handling and got the B&B formula book sent to me with all these incredible insights. If you're like me and looking for a better way to earn money, you should learn from the B&B formula.
Link in the description. Now let's get back to the video. Hualaja in Alabama Lake Martin is a beautiful destination in Alabama, famous for its crystal clear waters, boating activities, and stunning sunsets. However, the lake has a dark history that few people know. Underneath the tranquil waters of Lake Martin lies the ruins of Kowalja, a once thriving African-American community founded in the late 19th century. Kowalja was established by John Benson, a formerly enslaved person who had purchased thousands of acres of land in Alabama and sold it to other African-American families. The community grew and prospered with its Black-owned railroad and was home to the Kowalja Academic and Industrial Institute. This school provided education and vocational training to African-American students. The school helped prepare generations of African-American students to succeed in a world often hostile to them. Unfortunately, Kowalja's success was short-lived. The rise of the Ku Klux Klan and a lack of economic opportunities for African Americans in the area led to the community's decline in the 1920s. By the 1950s, the once thriving community had all disappeared. In the 1960s, the Alabama Power Company purchased the entire land to build a hydroelectric dam, which led to the creation of Lake Martin. The loss of Kowalja was a devastating blow to Alabama's Black community. It is just one of the many mind-boggling examples of how Black communities in America were systematically destroyed and forgotten throughout history. Despite this erasure, efforts are being made to preserve the memory of Kowalja and honor its legacy. The Kowalja Historical Society was established to preserve and promote the history of Kowalja and its contributions to Alabama and the United States. The society has created a museum that showcases the community's rich history, including exhibits on John Benson and the Kowalja Academic and Industrial Institute. The society also organizes tours of the area and hosts events celebrating Kowalja's heritage. In addition to the work of the Kowalja Historical Society, other organizations are also working to preserve and honor the community's memory. The Alabama Historical Commission has designated Kowalja as a historical site, and the National Park Service has recognized the town's contributions to the civil rights movement. The legacy of Kowalja lives on through the efforts of those who seek to honor and remember the community and its contributions to Alabama and the United States. And this is not the only city underwater, as right below the serene water of Lake Lanier is a land that was once thriving with human activities, Oscarville in Georgia. Lake Lanier in Georgia is a popular destination for weekend getaways, attracting visitors with its abundant fishing, boating, and other recreational activities. The lake spans over 38,000 acres and has over 692 miles of shoreline. It is located in the northern part of Georgia and serves as a major source of water supply for the city of Atlanta. However, what many people don't know is that the lake has a dark past. It sits on top of the ruins of Oscarville, a thriving African-American community that was destroyed as far back as 1912. Oscarville was a small Black community located in the northeastern part of Forsyth County, Georgia. The community was established in the late 1800s and was home to over 100 Black families. The residents of Oscarville were hardworking farmers, carpenters, and other tradespeople who were able to establish a self-sufficient community despite the oppressive Jim Crow laws at the time. In September, 2 alleged assaults against white women were reported in the county. 2 Black men were arrested, along with 4 accomplices. Shortly after, the body of a white resident and the suspects. To provide safety, one suspect was transferred, but a mob of angry white residents gathered outside the jail. They seized and beat another suspect to death before hanging him in the town square. After the trials and executions, a group of white men, known as Night Riders, began a campaign of terror against the Black residents of Oscarville. They burned homes, churches, and schools, forcing Black families to flee the area. More than 1,000 residents were displaced in the aftermath of the violence. The land where Oscarville once stood was eventually purchased by the Army Corps of Engineers, who built Lake Lanier on top of the remains of the destroyed community. The construction of the lake began in the 1950s and was completed in the 1960s. The lake is now a popular destination for recreation and serves as a major source of hydroelectric power for the region. Today, there are reports of eerie occurrences and ghost sightings around the lake, adding to its already haunting history. Many visitors to the lake have reported seeing strange lights, hearing ghostly voices, and feeling a sense of unease in certain areas. Some believe that the ghosts of the former residents of Oscarville are still present at the lake, haunting the place where their homes and communities once stood. The story of Oscarville and its destruction is a horrifying example of the violence and depression encountered in African-American communities throughout American history. However, efforts are being made to preserve the memory of Oscarville and honor the lives of those who were lost. The Black Student Union at the University of North Georgia has created a scholarship in the memory of the victims of the Oscarville lynching, and there are ongoing efforts to uncover more information about the community and its history. In recent years, there has been a renewed interest in the history of Oscarville and other similar communities in the South, organizations like the Georgia Trust for Historic Preservation have worked to document the history of Black communities in Georgia and advocate for their preservation. The Forsyth County Historical Society has also taken steps to recognize the history of Oscarville and other lost communities in the area. Despite the efforts to preserve the memory of Oscarville, the community's history remains largely unknown to the general public. Many visitors to Lake Lanier are unaware of the story beneath the water's surface, but it doesn't end here. Vanport in Oregon is another place now buried underwater. Vanport in Oregon. During World War II, the United States witnessed an unprecedented surge in its manufacturing and industrial sector to support the war effort. This period saw the rapid growth of shipyard industries, which became vital in producing warships and military supplies. One of the shipyards was located in Vanport, Oregon, which quickly became the second largest city in the state. The shipyard industry offered job opportunities, and many people migrated to the city in search of work. As the demand for labor increased, African Americans from the southern states were drawn to the shipyard industry in search of better job opportunities. However, due to systemic racism, the Albina neighborhood was the only place where Black people could legally reside. The Albina neighborhood soon became too small to accommodate the growing population, and a solution was needed to address the housing crisis. Vanport was built as a temporary solution to house these new workers. The city was built on a floodplain, and this decision would have devastating consequences. At its peak, Vanport housed 40,000 residents, with 40% of them African American. Unfortunately, in 1948, disaster struck the city when the Columbia River flooded the neighborhood. The floodwaters destroyed the town within a day, displacing over 18,500 families, more than a third of whom were Black Americans. The aftermath of the flood exposed the systemic racism that existed in Oregon. White supremacists attempted to keep Black Americans out of the state, and the state legislature passed laws to preserve the state predominantly white. The Oregon Black exclusion laws restricted Black people from owning property or settling in the state, a practice that continued for several years. Even after the laws were repealed in 1956, the legacy of systemic racism lived on. The former residents of Vanport never forgot their lost community and fought for years to preserve its memory. The Vanport Mosaic Festival is held annually to honor the lives lost and celebrate the city's rich history. The festival showcases the city's diverse cultural heritage and aims to educate people about the history of Vanport. The festival features a variety of events, including live performances, exhibits, and oral histories from former residents. The legacy of Vanport still resonates with the residents of Portland today. The city has a troubled history of racism and segregation, with the African American population facing numerous obstacles, including access to education, housing, and job opportunities. However, in recent years, the city has progressed in addressing these issues. It has launched various initiatives to improve the quality of life for the African American community, including affordable housing, job training, and education programs. The Vanport Mosaic Festival is a testament to the resilience of the former residents of Vanport who fought to preserve the memory of their lost community. While progress has been made in recent years to address the legacy of systemic racism in Portland, much work still needs to be done to achieve equality and justice for all. Next is Sasana, a former village in Alabama, now home to a large lake. But before we get into it, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thank you for the support. We aren't just telling stories, we're changing lives and waking the culture up. Now let's get back into it. Sasana Village in Alabama. Sasana was one of the most prosperous and thriving small towns in Tallapoosa County, Alabama. This charming farming community boasted a wealth of businesses, including a bank, sawmill, grist mill, post office, and even its own gold mine, situated on Blue Creek between Curry's Point and Still Waters. Sasana was a beacon of hope for pioneers seeking a new life in the American South. But sadly, Sasana's bright future was not to be. In the early 20th century, the construction of Lake Martin resulted in the town's submergence underwater. The once vibrant streets and bustling businesses were lost forever, leaving only memories and scattered remnants of the past. According to Alabama Living, the flooding of Sasana resulted in the relocation of over 900 bodies from cemeteries in the area. This poignant fact underscores the depth of loss experienced by the people of Sasana, who saw their homes and loved ones swept away by the rising waters. Despite its tragic fate, Sasana's legacy lives on in the hearts and minds of Alabamians and history buffs alike. The town's former glory is evidenced by the wide range of businesses it once supported, including a gold mine, a school, 2 mercantile stores, a grist mill, a flour mill, a sawmill, a blacksmith shop, and a church. These varied enterprises served as a testament to the ingenuity and perseverance of the people of Sasana, who built a thriving community from the ground up. And lastly, it is the once vibrant Ferguson town in South Carolina. Ferguson, South Carolina was once a thriving lumber town, founded in the 1880s by Francis Beadler and Benjamin F. Ferguson. The town was established to support the operations of the Santee River Cypress Lumber Company, which was responsible for harvesting old-growth timber from the Blackwater River wetlands in central South Carolina. The firm owned and controlled over 165,000 acres of land, mainly of bald cypress timber. The founders of the Santee River Cypress Lumber Company were both northern lumbermen from Chicago who saw an opportunity to capitalize on the rich timber resources of the South. They purchased large tracts of land and built a sawmill and a kiln to process the timber into finished products, such as railroad ties and lumber. Ferguson was constructed to house the workers operating the sawmill and other facilities to attract workers to the town. Beadler and Ferguson invested in the infrastructure of the new village. They built paved streets, provided indoor plumbing, and installed street lighting with coal gas. The company town system was used to exploit workers who were paid in an untransferable currency that could only be used at the company store.
Having Granger as a partner, they make it very easy for.
We'll get back to it. We will get back to it. We will get back to it in a minute. Here we go.
Transferable currency that could only be used at the company store. The town's workers and their families depended entirely on the company for their livelihoods, as there were no other sources of employment in the area. Despite exploiting workers, the town of Ferguson thrived for several decades. The sawmills cut wood, and the kiln produced treated wood products, including creosote-infused railroad ties. The post office began operations in 1890, and the town had several businesses, including a bank, a hotel, and a general store. The town's residents had access to various services and amenities, such as a school, a church, and a library. However, the Santee Cypress Company shut down its Ferguson operations in 1915, which led to the town's decline. Workers were laid off, and the post office shut down in 1917. Ferguson became a ghost town, abandoned and forgotten. Over time, the buildings fell into disrepair and were eventually demolished. In the following years, the land that was once Ferguson was repurposed for various projects. The Santee Cooper Power and Navigation Project, which began in 1939, included the construction of the Santee Dam downstream from the Ferguson site. The lake's shallow waters covered most of the town's site, including its streets, buildings, and cemetery. Today, Ferguson is a submerged ghost town that lies beneath the surface of Lake Marion. Despite its disappearance, the legacy of Ferguson lives on. The lumber industry, which was once the town's lifeblood, is still an essential part of the economy of the South, and many companies continue to harvest timber from the region. The town's story is a reminder of the industry's impact on local communities and the importance of fair labor practices. The submerged town is also a unique site for divers and history buffs who can explore the underwater remains of the town. Lake Marion, which covers an area of about 110,000 acres, is a popular spot for fishing, boating, and other recreational activities. The lake is home to various fish species, including largemouth, bass, catfish, and crappie. There are also several campgrounds, picnic areas, and hiking trails around the lake. The lake's proximity to several major cities in South Carolina makes it a popular weekend getaway destination. This video is crazy, but there's so much more history that they don't want you to learn about. The video on the screen is an interesting story that will open your eyes and change your perspective on life. Click on it.
So, what do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that right there? Let me go back to the respect to Wanda Williams, Brian Robinson, Sirius S. Virgo from Virginia, from Georgia, Fatty Yet, respect my brother. Together we break production. So, what y'all think about that? Really smart respect. What y'all think about that right there? All these cities that our ancestors had. Do we ever think about what these cities was and how they was and how our ancestors got along back then, right? But then all of a sudden they want to go and take this land away from our ancestors. They had in New York, Central Park in New York. Yeah, it's big and beautiful, but yet that land belongs to some black people. They took away from them. Intimate domain, they say, took away from black people. Then Lake Lanier, that city is buried underwater. The Army engineer took that land. And they said, as you can hear, there's a lot of land that was taken and some stuff was built over it and put underwater. It's hard to explain, Carlos, respect. It's hard to explain what that mean to us, what that means to our history. They do not teach that in school. They do not teach that in history books. See, they took the land from our ancestors and used it for something else. They ran our people out of off their land. They ran our people off the land. So, what y'all think about that? Any comment about it? This video is not going to be long, but we are going to at the night around 8 o'clock. We have some gardening tips for grower tech later on, and we're going to talk about some other stuff too. Yeah, that was dumb as that was dumb too. Together, I would never sold that. Prime real estate. Prime real estate. Hold on, I'm not gonna be on long. I just
I'm
wanted to
not
do
gonna be here.
that little bit right there. Yeah,
Oh, I ain't
but
gonna be on
like I
here either.
said, look at all the land that they taken in. You never thought about Lake Lanier. You never thought about Central Park. That land taken. The Rose Bowl that the Rose Bowl sits on, that was taken. There's a whole lot of land that it was taken from black people, our ancestors, that either underwater or something else built on top of it. And they said some certain places in Lake Lanier, you can hear some hollering. See, that kind of scary, ain't it? Kind of scary, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
So what you think about this? And they try to say this right here isn't taught in the history book.
Now they want to talk about the history book. Now I can consider that stuff bullshit because they hear everything from us when we were growing up. They did not mention all that. I kind of knew we owned a lot of that land. Like I said, just like my people, the Native Americans and the African Americans, well, I just say black folks, we had land. They just took it from us. They ran us out of our land and they took it all for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did not know, to be honest with you, I did not know the Central Park in New York City was owned by black people. But I kind of knew we built most of the cities and we built the White House and all that, but I never known the
Mm-hmm.
Central Park was part of the, was owned by some black folks. That's a new one on me.
Yeah. It kind of amazing how they want to try to keep us down, but yet they don't want to face their own. These folks do not want to face their own history, what they did, what kind of tragedy they don't cause many people.
Yeah, it's real sad. That's why we gotta look at our history. That's why I be looking on YouTube when I ain't doing anything and looking at the research of what we really did. We did a lot of
Yeah.
things people don't tell us to talk about.
Mm-mm. Oh, I ain't
Go,
through yet. Look, I ain't through
go
yet.
ahead, Big Bro.
Look.
Big Bro.
It's more that I'm gonna bring that they're not teaching in the history book, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
was just putting
Oh,
my neck over there.
it's gonna be more.
Yeah,
It's gonna be more.
please. But that was I know we own some lot of land that got taken away from us. It's so far. I didn't know it was owned by black folks, bro. I promise you I didn't know that. Ooh, yeah. Kids need to learn more too about their ancestors for real, man. Stop listening to what folks tell you that in school. But most people in school ain't gonna tell you the real truth. They want to brainwash you and think that, oh yeah, it came from such and such and such and such. Man, you better go see all goddamn history and really know what's really going on, because those schools right now is talking all about all Catholic shit. Excuse my French, and just keep on going. Shoot, listen to the horse's mouth. But really, what happened? There's a lot of folks in this country, man. They hide a lot of things that we do not know about, and they're scared if we find out they're gonna be a bunch of hypocrites So go into the library, go on them websites, and find your real true ancestors, your true history. But people in schools ain't gonna really tell you your true history. Look it up. There's a lot of
Yeah,
stuff out there that people try to hide.
yeah,
And I'm
and
going
that why,
on. Yeah, I'm gonna drop that down, bro.
yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
it's a lot of stuff that they taken away. All these inventions that we use today, some of it was taken away from our ancestors, and we got to come together sooner or later because we are smart. We got the brains on our. We got the brains to do things. And when I just wanted the people to hear that, I wish they could have seen that. But I think I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to do it another way, just to show it, so y'all can see what I was talking about this right here. And I might do it tonight. I might do. I might. I like get the men go get to do. I'm gonna do another live tonight. Might do 3 live tonight. Do one now, then do another one with Royal Tech, then do another one tonight to show y'all, so y'all can see instead of just hearing it. You see what I'm saying? So y'all can see it. Respect to together. Respect to Chicken Channel TV. Yeah, I'm just trying to bring a little history, get y'all prepared for tonight and next Saturday. Next Saturday on Together We Break Production, Real Rock, April Showers, and my channel. We will be giving away. You can go see what we will be giving away on my community wall. And the way you and only thing you're gonna have to pay for is the shipping and handling of the merchandise that you win. See how I'm gonna do it. Going to tell you how I'm gonna do it. It's going to be it's going to be by trivia questions. Trivia question. It's gonna be on trivia questions. You're gonna have to ask trivia questions, and it's gonna be fun, but also it's gonna be educational too at the same time. So, and I just wanted to come on and just give y'all a little knowledge this morning, give y'all something to think about. So, what y'all think about that topic right there? Chicken Channel TV, Together We Break. I would mind y'all being on the platform when I go live tonight, and it's gonna be right after Gore Tech. What we're gonna do is with him is Garden Tip by Grower Tech tonight, and y'all can ask him questions about gardening, and it's gonna be about gardening, how y'all keep y'all plants, y'all vegetable stuff, looking right and looking good and healthy. So join me tonight and watch. Oh, together. Come on up here. Come on up here together. Come on up here. I got a question to ask you. I got a question to ask you. I got a question to ask you. Yeah, Chicky. Hey, if you're going to, hey, we're going to have a garden show tonight. Today, we're gonna have a garden show today. Oh yeah, work. Okay. Why you want to call me out last night? Me and you already had talked. Me and you had squashed it, so you ain't hadn't even had to go there. Yes, it was, Chicky. It sure was. It sure was. Call that. But we're gonna elaborate more tonight after garden tips. Garden tips from Grower Tech tonight. After that show, we're gonna do another one. We're gonna get down to some history. We'll get down to some history, and we're gonna and hopefully I think I know how way I'm gonna show the video. How I'm gonna show the video tonight. How I'm gonna show the video of what y'all just heard, and show it again tonight. So together, Chicky, join me tonight, and I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna show the video. I already know how I'm gonna do it. So I'll be ready. I'll be prepared. We're gonna go to history. We're gonna do real history. We're gonna talk about a whole lot of different other stuff, and we're gonna talk about then we're gonna talk about how these people down in Florida back in the day used black children as bait for gators to get the gator skin, and why they did it. But until then, this is just one of these short live I'm gonna do. But that is crazy how all these cities, and we're gonna get more in depth on it later tonight. Just join me tonight. I don't know what time. Just wait for the notification. I will let you know what time it is. I had technical difficulties earlier, playing the video and coming live, and I would not have that problem later tonight. You can tell it yourself together. I ain't the Miller man. But yeah, and then wait when you're up here together, we gonna both tell about we're gonna have next Saturday, and you can drop all the links to channel that the giveaway is gonna be on, so people go sub up. And I love each and every one of y'all thank y'all for your support. I love you. I love you. I love you. Respect to 20 East, Amanda Black, 25th Says, and everybody over 20th Nation. Respect to Now Real, Quinny James, and everybody over there at Now River Together, Miss April Showers, Rim Rock, Nate the Great, Brian Robinson, Chicken Chow TV, Sirius S, Chawanda Williams, Realist One. Respect to everybody who love and support me. Thank you, and thank you. Thank you. And like I always say, love and respect your love and respect yourself. Because when you love and respect yourself, you can see through the BS and try to make the day better than it was yesterday, and try to make tomorrow better than it was today. I love you. Peace. And guess what? It's time to get out of here. Time to get out.
Buddha.